had never dreamt of becoming a leader, but either due to force of circumstance, opportunity, destiny, or even divine providence, he now heads the Department of Education. Join me and get up close and personal with the Department of Education Secretary, Brother Armin Luistro, here on Spotlight.
I'm Reggie Tongol, a lawyer by profession, TV host by advocacy.
I'm William Theo. I am a journalist, a commercial model, and also a realtor. Join me and meet the mighty shakers and movers of society
And be inspired by their amazing journey through life here on Spotlight.
Born on 1961, Department of Education Secretary Armin Luistro is among the 8 children of banker Jose de Mayuga Luistro and pharmacist Magdalena Aranda Altamirano Luistro of Lipa, Batangas. Pang-ilan po kayo dun sa 8
Pang-5 ako.
Okay, middle child.
So, meron akong middle child syndrome. Feeling ko hindi ako napapansin at wala akong masyadong litrato. Nung bata ako, wala akong birthday cake kasi yung birthday ko ay December 24.
How is it growing up dun sa ganong maraming mga kapatid?
Alam mo, sa probinsya, hindi lang maraming kapatid. Ito'y lahat yung mga lola't lolo ko, 4 yan silang pamilya. Pag kakain kami, isang mahabang mesa at lahat kung may isang mangga kahati mo sa 18.
Yeah.
Kaya natuto kami na magrasyon, natuto kami na pagkainan, sabay-sabay ang umpisa. Dahil pag wala ka sa umpisa, sorry ka na lang. Pangatlo, sanay kami sa trabaho dahil lahat kami, yung aming mga lola at lolo, sinisigurado na kami ay mga mabubuting bata. Kaya meron kaming panahon ng paggising, siesta sa hapon, meron kaming dapat lilinisin.
Yes.
At saka kailangan makikinig kami at magdadasal, lalo na.
Subalit lingid sa kaalaman ng marami, sa murang gulang ay naranasan niya ang maging isang ulila.
By age 10, my mother departed. I was too small to even peep into her coffin.
Oh gosh.
I lost my dad almost in my hands when I was third year high school. So by the time I went to college, ano ko, Batanggenyo eh. So by the time I went to college, I was an orphan. I was mostly supported by my maternal grandparents. I remember my mom, even 2 years before she died, she would be the last one to sleep.
Okay.
Because she would be, wala pang washing machine nun.
Yeah.
She would be washing our clothes. Alam ko, pag meron yung mga suot namin nun, hand-me-downs ako eh. Kung ano yung pinaglumaan nung kuya ko, yun yung sa akin. No?
Yeah.
At pag bibili yung nanay ko, siguro sa Divisoria, hindi ko alam kung saan, pare-pareho kami. Pag meron kaming VV Vonel na shirt, lahat kami, mula sa pinakabata hanggang sa pinakamatanda, para kaming army. In one sense, very regimented. But in another sense, a very typical, joyful Filipino family. Low middle income, pero we did not experience deprivation. Because sa probinsya, simple,
correct.
Pero nandun lahat.
Nandun lahat.
At saka, importante, pamilya yun.
Yeah.
So kung yung isa may karne, lahat may karne, kahit maliliit lang.
How were you able to cope with such kind of tragedy and heartache nung mga panahon? Siyempre, bata pa kayo noon, di ba? Mahirap maintindihan lahat ng nangyayari.
Hindi siguro ako nakakope. Well, hindi ko siguro totally naintindihan what I lost. Okay. And maybe part of the coping was, thank God, I did not understand. But I remember, way after my, siguro a year beyond my mother's death, I remember I was crying into the night. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. No?
Yeah.
Siyempre, wala pa naman noong psychology at guidance and counseling. So, that was part of growing up. It's only after I went to college, had the experience of studying human behavior, psychology, becoming a formator ako formator ako sa LaSalle Brothers. Siguro mas naiintindihan ko yung sarili ko.
Yeah.
No? At so, it was only in hindsight that I began to understand the tragedy that befell us. But at that time, siguro kasama yun doon sa normal struggle of somebody who's growing up.
What are the values na sa tingin mo nung short-lived life nung parents nyo na naituro niya sa inyong mga magkakapatid?
Alam mo, to tell you the truth, maybe the more influential people, value-wise, for us was our maternal grandparents.
What are the values na sa tingin mo nung short-lived life nung parents nyo na naituro niya sa inyong mga magkakapatid?
Alam mo, to tell you the truth, maybe the more influential people, value-wise, for us was our maternal grandparents. And they're a set of maternal grandparents na grand-uncles and grand-aunts included. Very well-knit family. They were the decision makers. They told us to live by gospel principles. Alam mo, sa probinsya, traditional at saka very, very religious. So a lot of the value system is based on that. I do not apologize. That was how I was brought up. And I thank God that those were the values that were instilled in me. Kahit simple, walang problema dyan. Because as long as we were able to share, no one will be deprived. Number two, don't ask for too much because what you have is more than sufficient. And thirdly, before anything else, remember that all of these are gifts from God.
Correct.
And it is from God that we put all of our trust on. In so many words, and in so many ways, that was how I was brought up, and I suppose that is what I carry even today.
Yes. And hindi naman po lingid sa kaalaman ng mga manonood natin na kayo po ay isang Lasallian brother. No? Kailan po na punta sa isip ninyo na kayo ay gustong tahakin itong karerang ganito?
Alam mo, wala namang masyadong nakakaintindi ko ano ba yung brother.
Opo.
Diba? In fact, marami nagtatanong sa ano ba yung brother. Sabi ko, mas gwapong pari yun. Pero ang tunay niyan, yung seryosong paghahanap ko. So anong gusto kong gawin sa buhay, nangyari yan nung nasa high school ako .
Okay.
At nung sinabi ko sa'yo...
After your father died?
Yes. Nung sinabi ko sa'yo na may middle child syndrome ako. Kasama yan dun sa development ko. Sa eskwela, hindi naman ako yung nagtatap ng klase. Hindi ako gaya ng Yusek Albert na nasa top. Ako, sa klase ganun din. Kung hindi ako tatawagin ng teacher, hindi ko itataas sa kamay ko. I was an average student. And at that time, it just dawned on me. Parang yung mga teacher, ang pinapansin lang nila yung matatalino at saka yung mga pasaway. Ang tinatawag lang sa office ng principal, yung mga conduct ay C. At saka ang umakit sa stage ay yung may medalya. Ako, I was in between.
Okay.
And I related that with in the family, ganun din ako. In fact, my only childhood picture is the picture I have here. That is my only childhood picture. Yun lang. Pag ko yung family album namin, bakit yung mga kuya at ate ko, marami silang trip outside, tapos maraming picture. Tapos ang next set na, siguro na aburido na yung nanay ko sa dami ng anak. Ang next set of pictures, yung mga bunso na.
Okay.
So,
para nakalimutan, subaybayan na pa
yung mga nasa pangitna. I suppose that part of the cross I carry. But that's also my perspective in life. And therefore, when I was in school, one of the first things I told myself, gusto ko yata maging teacher.
Okay.
At pag naging teacher ako, sisiguraduhin ko na yung mga hindi napapansin, ang una kong papansinin.
Oh, wow.
So siguro that was the
Turning
reverse
point, yeah.
psychology that I used unwittingly to cope with it. Natatanda ko nung una kong pagsalta sa Maynila, Batanggenyo, hindi marunong, walang kasama, sumakay ng bus sa Batangas, ibinabas sa Taft Avenue. Naligaw ako nun, papunta sa Lasal.
Okay.
Nakita ko kasi yung jeep, Pasay Taft.
Yeah.
Sumakay ako. Yung pala papuntang Quiapo.
Okay,
yung Lasal pala
baliktad.
papagano. But the insight on me was, sana nandito yung tatay ko.
Yeah.
Bakit yung mga kaklase ko, inihahatid ng tatay nila papunta sa eskwelahan? Ako, probinsyano, nag-iisa. Diba? So, probinsyano ka, hiyang-hiya ka. It was like the same insight I had when I was in school as an average student. I told myself, ako pag nag-asawa ako at nagkaanak ako, aalagaan ko yung anak ko. Hindi ko siya iiwan ng mag-isa. So, I suppose part of my family history and background allowed me to have a bigger heart for those who are left behind.
Yeah.
Those who are unnoticed, those who are average, and those who will not be in the normal priority lists of others. And I thank God for that because kung hindi ko pinagdaanan yun, hindi ganun yung perspective ko sa buhay, kahit sa DepEd nga.
Have you been an ordinary boy then, na parang tumibok ba ang puso mo? Ganyan.
Tatandaan ko na meron akong sinulatan, hindi naman ako sinagot.
Yeah.
Natatanda ko pa yung muka.
Maraming hindi malilimutang karanasan ng buhay estudyante ni Secretary Luistro at marami rito ang nagbigay inspirasyon din sa kanya upang maging isang guro.
At yung aking unang dalawang Lasal Brothers na teacher sa first year high school, in-idolize ko.
Okay. Yeah.
Because sila yung unang pumansin sa akin. And I think that's the effect of teachers. Natatandaan ko yun, yung nagsasubmit kami ng assignment sa aming teacher, Brother Jess pa yun. No? Pag-submit ko sa kanya ng paper, lahat ng teacher ko, liliyak lang ng grade. 75, 80, ganyan. Si Brother Jess will return our paper with little notes. Armin, I like your drawing.
Yeah.
This is excellent. Marami siyang ganyan.
May encouragement pa.
That was the first time as a student, I felt this teacher is different from all the rest.
Yeah.
He actually reads, surprise of surprises, and actually takes note of those small details. My second year high school teacher, dahil mahihayin ako, nagkaroon ako ng first party with, my first time may girl sa Lasal, yung aking mga bully na mga classmates, sila yung unang sumayaw. Ako, wallflower. Doon kami, yung mga mahihayin, doon sa solo kayo. In my batch kasi, I'm much younger.
Yeah.
Even in class, I always felt I was smaller than the rest. I am not as
Physically,
built like the others. And I carry that.
Yeah.
In second year, in my first party, dumating ito si Brother Bernie. Umikot siyang ganyan. Sabi niya sa akin, ikaw, hindi ka pa sumasayaw, no?
Yeah.
Sabi niya, sige, sumayaw ka na. So even my first dance in high school, in a real party, was at the prodding of a brother teacher. No?
Yeah.
And I suppose those kinds of experiences allowed me to appreciate. Meron palang teacher na ganito. In a roundabout way, allowed me to be so attracted to a teaching profession, vocation, that allowed me to reach out to those who are left behind.
But Armin, balik tayo dun sa time na yan, no? Nung ikaw ay isang teenager pa. Have you been an ordinary boy then? Na parang tumibok ba ang puso mo? Ganyan? Nagkaroon ka ba ng heartache ng mga panahon?
Hindi ko na sabihin kung bakit, pero oo. Siyempre dun sa... Siyempre, ang Lasal ay all-boys school.
Correct, yeah.
Pero nung elementary ako, meron akong babae sa Maryknoll.
Yeah.
No? At yung mga kaklase namin na babae, pero hanggang grade 4 lang yun. No? Pagdating ng second year, nagkaroon rin ng babae sa Lasal. Siyempre, titibok yung puso mo doon. Diba? Tatandaan ko na meron akong sinulatan, hindi naman ako sinagot.
Yeah.
Natatanda ko pa yung muka. At natatandaan ko na pag nakikita ko siya, nagtatago ako. But that was all part of growing up.
Yeah.
But I was like your insecure teenager, introvert. In a group where everyone else is older and seemingly more intelligent and better endowed than myself. So,
With the guidance and support of his grandparents, nakapasok si Secretary Luistro sa De La Salle University, Manila.
I had to ask for a scholarship. In fact, I remember going to school and realizing that I was not originally accepted the scholarship program because I could not submit the requirement. The requirement was a income tax return.
Yes.
My father was
dead already.
Wala akong masubmit. So, wala akong palabas na ako ng Lasal noon. Sabi ko, saan kaya ako mag-aaral nito? And then I met another classmate who said, pwede kang mag-appeal. Ganun ako ka-insecure. I didn't even know that
pwede mag-appeal.
Pwede pala mag-appeal. Pero pala ganun. So, maybe that was my first time that I actually had the courage to ask something for myself.
Yeah.
Kasi when I was growing up, we never asked for anything. Sabi ng lola, kung ano yung nandyan, yan ang kainin nyo.
Yeah.
Huwag kayong hihingi ng kung ano. Di ba? So, naghihintay ka lang. For the first time, I realized life was different. There are things you can ask for.
You have to fend for yourself.
And luckily, I had the scholarship in Lasal. Nag-economics din ako. But eventually, on my second year, I shifted to my first love, philosophy. So I graduated actually philosophy and letters.
Kailan niyo po nalaman na parang, sige, dito ko sa tinatahak kong daan na to?
If you knew me in high school,
Yes.
and if you ask my classmates and my teachers who are still alive, they will never, ever imagine that I am a leader type or I can be interviewed in Spotlight. Until I realized that the most important moment in teaching is not the classroom.
Yeah.
It's after class pala.
Oh.
Naging maingay din yung pangalan mo dahil you were really at the forefront of a lot of parang opposition sa mga nangyayaring katiwalian dati sa administrasyon, no? Saan mo nakuha yung voice na yun?
Wala akong mukha na ipapakita sa estudyante ko at sabihin, oy, kayo'y huwag pandaya. Kung wala rin akong boses na sabihin doon sa nakikita kong pandaya sa labas, oy, mali ka. Kahit presidente ka.
What's your vision for the department?
Simple lang. Yung mga problema ng nakalipas na taon ay masolve natin.
What's next for Brother Armin in the next 5 years?
Papahinga ako. Pagod na ako. Kasi sa DepEd.
What's your favorite color?
Green, syempre, Lasal.
Favorite food?
Lechon, yung balat, pero dapat malutong.
Cebu or ano? Yung may sauce?
Gusto ko may sauce.
Okay.
Kailangan liver sauce.
What's your favorite music to listen to?
Yung mga classical na romantic na nakakaiyak. Yun yung
Mga ballads,
pinapakinggan,
gano'n.
mga ballads.
Who do you consider as your mentor?
Kung pipiliin ako ng isa, hindi dahil mahaba ang kanyang sinabi, pero dahil sa impact sa buhay ko, si Tita Cory.
I know you're also an art patron. Who's your favorite artist? Filipino?
That painting at the back of my desk was painted by a brother, Fernandez, Dodo Fernandez. That was the first painting that was ever given to me.